While playing an escape room game, I bumped into my boyfriend's first love. He questioned me sternly and demanded an apology. Swoon-worthy, you pushed her on purpose. If you don't apologize, let's break up. He knew all too well that as long as he brought out the breakup card, I would definitely surrender obediently. Swoon-worthy, you did it on purpose. Jiang Yu's questioning voice startled me, leaving me frozen in place. Looking at the girl in front of me, who was frowning, and my boyfriend anxiously asking where she had bumped into. My boyfriend. I timidly began to explain. I didn't push her, I just bumped my knee against that cabinet and lost my balance. If you don't believe me, you can take a look at the wound on my knee that's bleeding. I stared at Jiang Yu, my voice getting lower and lower. He didn't listen at all. He raised his hand and pushed me aside, pretending to pick up that girl. What a stupid game. Tang, did she bump into your arm? Does it hurt? Oh, so she is by Tang. That senior Jiang Yu has been mentioning recently, who is very charming. Bai Tang glanced at me awkwardly, pushed Jiang Yu's hand away, gently shook her head, and supported his arm as they walked out of the private room, leaving me standing alone in the corridor filled with terrifying images, like a discarded rag doll. The NPC dressed as a ghost behind me patted me. Are you okay, sister? Hey, don't cry. He frantically searched through the tattered pockets of his clothes and said, don't cry, I didn't bring any tissue. Did I cry? I wiped the corners of my eyes and tried to force a smile at him. I didn't cry. It took me 2 hours to do my makeup today. But what does that matter? I spent 2 hours on my makeup and even changed into the pure white dress that Jiang Yu likes the most. But the moment I saw Bai Tang today, I knew I had already lost. 1. Jiang Yu is my boyfriend, a well-known aloof male god in our department. I pursued him for a year and have been with him for a year. In our senior year, everyone is interning while going for interviews, and Jiang Yu always says he is very busy and has no time to see me. But yesterday, he suddenly asked me to go escape room gaming together tomorrow, and directly sent me the time and place. In that moment, I was so happy that I wanted to jump up while holding my phone. I had been asking for a long time to play an escape room, but he always seemed uninterested. Later, when I got annoyed and kept asking, he would even snort through his nose and laugh at me for being childish. Why is he so proactive about wanting to play this time? Did something happy happen that we need to celebrate? Could it be that he has prepared some special surprise? Like a romantic dinner, followed by a proposal. The more I imagined, the happier I became. I got up early, spent 2 hours doing my makeup, and changed into the pure white dress that Jiang Yu likes the most. I know it's best not to wear a dress for an escape room, but Jiang Yu really likes me dressed like this. When he first saw me in this outfit, his eyes clearly lit up. But when I reached the entrance of the escape room, my heart suddenly sank, and I wished I could rip this dress apart on the spot. Standing at the door was a girl in a white dress as well, and as the wind blew, she elegantly tucked her hair behind her ear. In that moment, I felt like a clown who had stolen someone else's clothes. What else could it be? Her eyelids are all natural. Not only that, but it seems my boyfriend was also borrowed from someone else. The girl lazily said something that she didn't even know, and Jiang Yu leaned down, putting his ear close to listen. After hearing it, he laughed so hard that he couldn't stand up straight. I have never seen Jiang Yu smile like this. As aloof as he is, even when he smiles in front of me, it's just a faint curve of his lips. I've never seen him smile so joyfully. It's too awkward. I should be standing in a crack in the ground, not on the surface, and definitely not in front of 2 people who are chatting and laughing. Panicking, I turned around, wanting to escape quickly. Swoon-worthy, you're here, Jiang Yu called out to me, completely unaware of my panic, and he turned to smile at the girl. Everyone's here, let's go in. I opened my mouth to say that I wasn't participating. Before I could think of a reason, several people had already turned and stepped into the store. It turns out, I was just here to make up the numbers. I took a deep breath, stiffened my body, and followed them inside. Throughout the process, Jiang Yu didn't seem to have any intention of introducing me to the girl. He must have been too preoccupied. Watching Jiang Yu carefully and thoughtfully ask the girl if she was scared, closely following her and watching her with unwavering attention. I smiled bitterly. After chasing Jiang Yu for a year and being together for another year, I always thought he was a typical straight man who believed that women only slow down my sword-drawing speed. I followed behind them, the lyrics of that song looping in my mind. I fear ghosts, but they haven't harmed me at all. I don't fear people, but they have hurt me all over. I unexpectedly started to laugh. Really, it's so funny in this horror escape room. Even the ghost-playing NPC cares more about me than Jiang Yu does. Sometimes I deliberately slow down my pace, hoping the ghost-playing NPC will catch me and lock me in a small room, so I can avoid seeing anything. But every time I slowed down, the NPC would slow down too, and even stop to tilt its head and look at me, kindly giving me hints. After I shook my head to indicate I didn't want hints, the NPC even thought I didn't understand and directly pulled me to catch up with them. Alright, let's just awkwardly play like this. Unfortunately, I accidentally bumped into that girl. Su Qin, you did it on purpose. Jiang Yu's words pushed me into the role of the malicious female antagonist. He didn't listen to my explanation at all, didn't even glance at my bleeding knee, and just pulled the girl out of the game. Tang Tang, let me carry you out. He called her Tang Tang. We've been together for a year, and Jiang Yu has always called me Su Qin, first and last name, just like how my mom would call me when she was about to scold me. But Jiang Yu calls her Tang Tang, his voice filled with concern. I had never seen Jiang Yu like this before, furious and out of control, squatting down to princess carry someone else, and being awkwardly pushed away by others. The second face of the aloof male god was fully displayed in front of that girl. If it weren't for the fact that I was the one being cheated on, I would definitely be clapping in amazement from the sidelines. Girl, oh no, by Tang Tang, the senior who is an alumna from the department where Jiang Yu works. Jiang Yu said she has a good personality and is also beautiful. Indeed, the white dress looks pure and lively on her. Unlike me, who is used to wearing t-shirts and jeans, I always feel a draft when wearing a skirt. The NPC behind me, dressed as a ghost, patted me. Sister, are you okay? I have a problem. My boyfriend just helped another girl walk in front of me. Am I being cheated on? No, maybe Jiang Yu thinks this doesn't count as cheating, or, although I am reluctant to admit it, maybe he doesn't even consider me his ideal girlfriend. It feels like my heart is stuffed with cotton. But I still can't cry. Today's makeup is really expensive. Sister, you're bleeding. The NPC became more anxious when he saw my knee. After pulling me a few times without success, he simply picked me up horizontally by the waist and said, I'm taking you to the hospital now. Don't worry, it's very close, we'll be there soon. Put me down. I struggled for a while but then gave up. This person clearly has no experience carrying someone rather than a hug. It felt more like he was carrying a tray to offer tribute. The key is that he runs as fast as a dog, and I'm really afraid he might trip and drop me. Another reason is that, upon closer inspection, he actually looks quite handsome. The NPC's special effects makeup couldn't hide his slightly baby-faced, bright features, and the upward flick of his crimson eyeliner added a touch of innocent mischief. The blood on his forehead was blurred by sweat, adding a bit of wildness and sexiness. Here's a little devil with a natural glow. Wasn't your boyfriend just trying to hug his white moonlight? So what if I'm being held in the arms of such a handsome young man right now? I feel a sense of revenge rising in my heart. 2. Doctor, how is her injury? The little guy squatted beside me and asked. When the little guy ran into the examination room holding me, the doctor was so startled that his forehead twitched. Since he put me down and pressed me onto the stool, the doctor's furrowed brow hasn't relaxed at all. Which of you is sick? After all, the little guy's outfit looks very much like a severe patient escaping from a mental hospital. I'm sick. I bumped my leg. I quickly said, his outfit is a prop. The doctor raised an eyebrow and helped me check the wound. Under the golden-rimmed glasses, with thick eyebrows and bright eyes, he had a cold demeanor. I saw the badge on his chest. Shin Shu Bai. Dr. Shin looked at me, then at the little guy and sighed, "Fortunately, you arrived in time." "Is it that serious?" Both the little guy and I became nervous, and he unconsciously tightened his grip on my hand. Dr. Shin shot us a glance. "If you had come a little later, her wound would have scabbed over." "Oh." We awkwardly let go. While prescribing medication, Dr. Shin said irritably, "Just apply some medicine, you young couples, it's not a big deal." I was about to speak up and say that I didn't know the little guy. Then I heard Dr. Shin continue, "A couple came in just now, the girl was fine, just got bumped and had a bruise on her arm, but that guy insisted I prescribe medication." I silently lowered my head, my fingers tightly clenched together, a wave of bitterness rising in my heart. The guy from that couple earlier must be my boyfriend, Jiang Yu. The little guy smiled as he took the prescription. "Thank you, doctor." Of course I'm anxious. With such a great girlfriend, I have to cherish her like a treasure. What if something happens to her? He even mischievously winked at me. Dr. Shin looked utterly defeated, as if he had been force-fed dog food, and called the next number with annoyance. But I couldn't help but smile. Being cherished in someone's hands, is this the warm feeling in my heart? Jiang Yu has never held me in his hands, he hasn't even touched my palm much. In fact, when I was pursuing him back then, I once accidentally touched his icy fingertips in the dead of winter and felt sorry for him, so I gave him a hand warmer and breathed on his hands to warm them up. I was so warm-hearted. "Sister, let me treat you to a meal." The little guy supported me as we walked out of the hospital. Seeing that I was about to refuse, he put on a pitiful expression. "Sister, let me treat you. I caused you to get hurt in the escape room. And I'm so afraid you might complain about me." A meal, we ate until 9 p.m. The place I chose is on the dark street behind the school, a super delicious hole-in-the-wall restaurant. Jiang Yu would never eat at such places, he thinks they are unsanitary. But the little rascal is different, he orders more skillfully than I do. The little rascal is called Shumutuan, a sophomore in our college, working part-time at an escape room. He proudly told me that he is the top NPC in the ghost role, with a customer satisfaction rating of 4.9. I laughed and clinked my beer bottle with his, tilting my head back and downing it in one go. "Don't worry, I won't complain about you." The little rascal looked at me, hesitated to say something, nodded, and took a big gulp of beer. Throwing away the empty beer bottle in my hand, I rummaged through the cans on the table that were all over the place, shaking them, but there was nothing left. "Boss, give me another round. Hick, and bring me a dozen more." I just reached out my hand to signal a 1, and was stopped by the little guy. "Boss, no need to come anymore, my friend has had enough to drink." Did I drink too much? I burped, "No, right?" I looked at him in confusion. Then why do I still feel so bad inside? The little guy supported my shoulder, stared into my eyes, and after a long time finally sighed. "Sister, why don't you just cry it out?" "Cry? No way." I shook my head firmly and pushed his hand away. "I can't cry. My eye makeup will smudge, the setting powder will fall off, and the foundation I used today is very expensive." Okay, I know the foundation is expensive." The little guy looked at me seriously. "Sister, you've held it together all day, you're very strong, but now it's night, you can have a good cry." "Can I?" As soon as the words fell, my tears began to fall. 3. I wiped the tears from my face, tugged at the sleeves of my dress, and tried to organize my words to talk to the little rascal. "Do you see this white dress? There's a part at the back, a part, sigh. Better not say anything." In the past, I thought Jiang Yu was just aloof. He's a high IQ academic, so it's normal for him not to care about anyone. So even when he agreed to be together, his gaze towards me always carried a sense of indifferent coldness, and I was more than willing to accept it. I secretly told myself that it must be because I wasn't good enough yet, and I needed to work a little harder to be worthy of him. Until I saw him getting nervous in front of Bai Tang Tang. The lies couldn't be sustained any longer. It's not that the male god is cold, it's just that the person he wants to warm up isn't me. Little ghost, do you know? I've been pursuing Jiang Yu for a year, but he only met Bai Tang Tang a month ago, right? And they? No way. I laughed so hard that tears and snot came out. A month. Ha ha ha. Jiang Yu probably hasn't even caught up with her yet. It must be that he's not good enough. With the courage from the alcohol, I finally dared to diss Jiang Yu. Little Ghost shook his head in disagreement. In matters of affection, it doesn't depend on how good someone is, it all comes down to feelings. And you are also very excellent. No, not just excellent, you are super excellent, sister. Very good, that compliment hit the mark. I nodded, thank you, Little Ghost, you have good taste and a bright future. Little Ghost, praised, happily squinted his eyes, revealing 2 cute dimples, and handed me a glass of water. It's alcohol. Little Ghost propped his chin with one hand, looking at me with a teasing gaze. Don't try to fool me, I'm not drunk. I still picked it up and took a small sip. Well, it's a bit sweet, it's honey water. Sister, actually I used to. Just as the Little Ghost started to speak, my phone rang. It was Jiang Yu calling. Su Chin Chin, where are you? His voice was as low and calm as ever. I opened my mouth, about to tell him I was eating, almost done, and that the injury on my knee wasn't a big deal, it had already scabbed over. Jiang Yu suddenly changed to a tone that seemed to want to be open-hearted with me. But every word he said made me feel like I was falling into an ice cave. Su Chin Chin, tell me the truth, did you deliberately push Bai Tang Tang today? If so, just apologize to her, she won't hold it against you. Su Chin Chin, I don't want my girlfriend to be a person of poor character. Each sentence hit me like a stone, causing my heart to ache with every beat. I wanted to cry and laugh at the same time, but in the end, I took a deep breath and replied. No, I didn't push her on purpose. Jiang Yu's voice was clearly filled with anger, and I could even imagine his cold, frowning expression. Su Chin Chin. If you don't apologize, let's break up. The final blow felt like a knife stabbing into my chest. Jiang Yu is not the type to casually mention breaking up, but he knows very well that as long as he brings out the breakup card, I will definitely surrender obediently. Heh. A light laugh. I don't know if he was just waiting for me to soften and speak up in the next moment with a sneer. It was I who suddenly saw the reality, realizing the self-mockery of my humble position in his heart. After a long silence, I spoke up to break the deadlock. All right, let's break up. Jiang Yu was taken aback and said, but quickly regained his composure. Su Chin Chin, you. Before I could hear the rest, I hung up the phone. Are you going to think about it again? Are you going to reflect on yourself? Or should I give you another chance to answer this question? I suddenly didn't care what he had to say anymore. I looked up at the nervous little guy in front of me. I heard my own voice trembling obviously. I'm drunk, let's go to the hotel. 4. The little devil shook his hand and inserted the room card, and with a snap, the lights in the room turned on. I basically walked in with the same foot and hand. At the moment I hung up the phone with Jiang Yu, all the anger and grievances from the past 2 years surged in my heart, and a voice screamed in my mind. Su Chin Chin, he treated you like this, you have to take revenge on him. Didn't he cheat? You have to be worse than him. How can I be worse? My gaze stopped on the innocent yet slightly wicked little devil in front of me. The dormitory had a curfew. I was drunk, and my legs hurt so much that I couldn't walk. I came up with many lame excuses, coaxing the little devil to say, let's go to the hotel. What I actually wanted to do, I didn't dare to say. But now, the little guy is looking down at me, holding the room card without putting it down. Shaking like he has Parkinson's. I suddenly got scared. I originally wanted to make fun of him to ease the atmosphere. As soon as I opened my mouth, I realized my throat was tight, and my voice was shaky. Your shaking is impressive. Uh-huh. The little guy responded blankly. I secretly took a deep breath. I was already here, the money was paid, so let's get started. I bravely took a step towards him. Unexpectedly, my small step was a big step for the little guy. He stepped back a little. Embarrassing, very embarrassing. I looked at the distance that suddenly opened up between us. Those who don't know might think this is some kind of pandemic prevention education film. Or a promotional video for boys to protect themselves outside and stay away from strange older sisters. I tried to save face. Well, it's quite hot. I smiled apologetically. So I came to the hotel to enjoy the air conditioning and cool down, don't get me wrong. MMHMM. The innocent look of the little guy responding seriously made it seem like he really came to enjoy the air conditioning. This made me, as his older sister, seem even more scheming. No, I can't go and be a jerk to the little boy just to get back at the scumbag. I raised the moral flag in my heart, and scolded myself back and forth while stepping into the mud several times. Well, I'm no longer hot, so I'm going back first. Apologizing while saying goodbye to the little guy, I awkwardly hunched over and backed away. As a result, my limbs felt as stiff as a new outfit, and I tripped over my left foot with my right foot, causing myself to fall. Not exactly, I fell, but not completely. The little guy was quick and caught me in his arms. And then the two of us crashed into the door. His limbs seemed to be just as stiff as mine. What kind of scene did we create once we finally steadied ourselves? The little guy, over 180 centimeters tall, leaned against the door, his long legs supporting both himself and me. I was curled up in his arms, looking like a scared little thing. It has become hot again. Sister, are you okay? For some reason, the little kid's voice was a bit hoarse. I had tears welling up in my eyes, nodding and then shaking my head. Sister, what's wrong? The little kid bent down and asked me closely. This distance, which is far less than the safety measures for epidemic prevention, suddenly made the atmosphere ambiguous. Sister, a sigh. Interrupted by my voice, it hurts. Little kid, let go of my waist. The little kid's hand around my waist was already tight. As soon as I got nervous, it felt like I was being squeezed as if I were doing a grip test. Causing me pain. Grabbing the waist and all, it really only suits appearing in domineering CEO stories. Sorry, did I hurt you? The little guy quickly let go. This can't be thought about in detail. The more I think, the more flustered I become. I didn't mean to hurt you like that. I meant that this way hurts you too, but not really, sigh. It's fine, really. I rubbed my waist to comfort him. When I looked up, I saw his face flushed red. From the tips of his ears to the base of his neck, it was all red. Even his chest, which was rising and falling sharply, was flushed. A pair of wet little puppy eyes looked at me questioningly, nervously blinking. I tried to avoid his gaze. Actually, I should be the one saying sorry. I originally intended to. The little devil's mouth curled up into a bright smile. Sister, you don't need to say anything, I already know. Ah. In an instant, I felt a sense of shame, as if my sordid thoughts had been exposed. Sister, but I hope you don't belittle yourself. The little devil said seriously. What does it mean to belittle? No, I shook my head. Shumutuan, being with you is not belittling myself. You are great, really great, so I feel that I shouldn't be like this. It's unfair to you. A hint of surprise flashed across the little devil's face. Sister, do you think I'm great? Afraid that he might misunderstand, I nodded vigorously. The surprise on the little boy's face turned into joy. So, you might like me too, right? Like me? Maybe. Who wouldn't like such a sunny and adorable little puppy? But the question was asked too directly, so I softly hummed in response. Unexpectedly, the little boy shook his head as if he didn't believe it, ran to the sink, and splashed 2 handfuls of cold water on his face. Sister, I'm sober now, can you say it again? I nodded helplessly. Shumuchuan, you're great, I could definitely like you. The little boy's eyes widened, and he suddenly burst into laughter and jumped around. He was enchanted. With his NPC costume, it's hard not to guess that he has really gotten into character. The little boy cheerfully pulled my arm and pressed me to sit on the edge of the bed. Sister, go to bed early. After saying that, he turned around and walked out. Sister, I will come to find you tomorrow, I have something to give you. As soon as the words fell, the person had already run out. He thoughtfully closed the door, and even pushed it from the outside to confirm it couldn't be opened before leaving. Leaving me sitting on the edge of the bed, stunned and recalling, did he just blush while speaking? What did he say he wanted to give me? It's so strange. Just as I was wondering, my phone received a friend request. The avatar is a hand-drawn white begonia. Hello, Su Chin Chin. I am Bai Tang Tang. 5. Bai Tang Tang asked me to meet and talk tomorrow. I originally didn't want to agree, but Bai Tang Tang's first question was whether I was hurt in the escape room today. Jiang Yu hasn't asked me about it all day. He only sent a WeChat message, saying generously that he understands I was in a bad mood today, so he wouldn't take what I said about breaking up on the phone to heart. According to him, I should still thank him. I scoffed at the chat box with Jiang Yu, didn't reply, and directly closed it. Sure. I agreed to Bai Tang Tang's invitation. But before going to bed, I was horrified. When I went to wash my face, I glanced in the mirror and almost scared myself into a pout. What a sight this is. The expensive foundation really has its reasons. It's waterproof and doesn't smudge. Even if I cry my eyes out, it still shows color, and I wiped it off in a patchy manner. And the eyeliner and shadow have smudged down to her cheeks, making her look pitiful like a panda. Once the lights are off, I could go into the escape room as an NPC with this makeup on. So just now, that little brat kissed me with this face. I awkwardly covered my face. Just thinking about how I was so composed earlier, saying I might like him, and he was so happy he was bouncing around. I was just filled with a sense of frustration. However, even with all this, not being disliked and feeling cherished is truly heartwarming. As I wiped away my dark circles, I couldn't help but laugh out loud. Shumuchuan is handsome, and has a great personality. Aside from being a bit silly, he is truly perfect. No, that's not silly, that's cute. Early in the morning, the little devil was cute again. I wandered around the room for a long time, and when I didn't wait for anyone, I thought maybe I should go out and check out myself. As soon as I opened the door, he was standing there, raising his hand, looking conflicted about whether to knock or not. Sister, you're awake. He shook a few bags of various sizes in his hand. I bought breakfast. I was afraid you were still sleeping, so I didn't dare to knock on the door. I chose soy milk and fried dough sticks, and the little guy happily took care of the rest. Did you wait for a long time? I casually asked. Is the soy milk cold? If it's cold, don't drink it. I'll go buy you another one. Seeing his nervous expression, I suddenly laughed. No, it's just right. Today, the little guy didn't wear any special makeup, looking clean and fresh, like sunlight filtering through the leaves. After finishing the meal, the little guy wiped his mouth and took out another bag from his backpack. I saw that your skirt was stained with blood yesterday. It might not be good to go out like that, so I brought you some clothes, please don't mind. For some reason, I felt a pang in my heart as I took the bag. Many thoughts flashed through my mind. Did he bring me clothes? Are they new, or have they been worn by someone else? If they've been worn by someone else, could it be his girlfriend? What kind of clothes are they? A skirt. Are they pretty? If they are pretty, does that mean he has good taste and has given clothes to someone else before? Before opening the bag, I silently took a breath. Why think so much? He and I have no relationship. I'm already very grateful for this kind of concern. But when I opened it, I realized I had overthought it. A white t-shirt and straight-leg jeans. Well, the aesthetic of straight men, it's actually quite good, saves trouble. The kid introduced to me that the white t-shirt is his, newly bought and hasn't been worn yet. It will definitely be a bit big on me, but the fabric is very comfortable. As for the jeans, I definitely can't wear his. So I temporarily went to the store to buy a pair to make do for now. I estimate my waist size is about 1.8 feet, so M size should be about right. I cleared my throat lightly and said, 1.8 feet. The kid suddenly blushed and hurried to explain. The waist size is mainly noticeable, and of course, when he held my waist last night, he also paid a little attention to it. At that moment, he still had the time to notice this. Forget it, I don't want to delve into it. Speaking of last night, it easily reminds me of my horrifying makeup. With that, the atmosphere suddenly became awkward. Well, sister, you look good in a dress, but I prefer you in a t-shirt and jeans, especially cool. The little ghost suddenly blurted out a sentence or two. I nodded. Indeed, I am not very keen on wearing skirts, as they leave me exposed on all sides, but it's just because Jiang Yu prefers me in skirts. By the way, this is for you. The little ghost took a small box out of his backpack. He solemnly placed it in my palm, looking at me with anticipation as I opened it. Seeing the contents of the box, my expression slowly cracked under his gaze. For me? A gift? Yes. My brain started to race again. Is he scolding me? 6. Sister, do you understand? The little brat asked me eagerly. Understand what? I stared at the watch quietly lying in the box, thinking for a long time. It's not a Rolex Submariner, not a Patek Philippe, and it's not even a Casio, it's just an ordinary digital watch. What should I understand? Did you buy a watch? Sister, how can you curse like that? You know it's cursing, right? Who gives a watch as a gift right off the bat? The little brat sighed slightly disappointed. You really don't remember, this watch has a story behind it. It's me and you. It turns out that on the first day of military training last year, the little guy met me. According to school tradition, there is a student union organization that provides warmth during the new students' military training. The little guy said that he was half an hour late that day and was being scolded by the instructor in front of the lineup when he suddenly saw me. I was the head of the publicity department of the student union at that time, and my gaze towards him was filled with concern. I took the initiative to speak to the instructor on his behalf, allowing him to return to the lineup. During the lunch break, I even came back under the scorching sun to find him, asking if he was late, because his alarm clock was broken. Without saying a word, I took off the watch from my wrist and earnestly taught him how to set the alarm. Sister, you are the light that illuminates my path. The little guy was so excited that his eyes were filled with tears. The light itself was very calm. Even wanting to laugh a little. I remembered that little troublemaker, with a face as dark as a pot bottom from back then. I just didn't expect that he had grown into this little rascal in front of me, with his eyes curved when he smiled. Truly, boys change a lot as they grow up. Sister, you may not know this, but you changed me. Back then, I didn't perform well in the college entrance examination, and I was very reluctant to come to S University. I thought I might as well just give up. So that day, I deliberately arrived late. It was very childish, right? I find it laughable when I think about it now, the little one said self-deprecatingly, but at that time, I was always burdened by a sense of resentment, it was just that childish. Fortunately, I met you, sister. Not only did you help me seriously, but you also reminded me that since I was at S University, I should make the most of my time and opportunities. Suddenly, the resentment in my heart disappeared. And I started to listen to you, study well, and live well. As the little one spoke, her eyes slowly turned red, and her voice carried a barely audible tremor. Indeed, during our student days, who hasn't been childish at some point? It's quite ridiculous and shouldn't be the case, to be trapped in a certain emotion, wanting to escape, yet still deeply entangled after struggling time and again. It was the case for the little one when facing S University, and it was the same for me when facing Jiang Yu. I really need someone to pull me up. Sister, thank you. The little boy gradually approached, reached out his hand to gently lift my chin, and looked straight into my eyes. However, little boy, I have something to say. With our noses touching, I hesitated to speak. Sister, go ahead. Unlike you, I got into university, which is actually quite an extraordinary achievement. I didn't expect that back then, I would be giving advice to you. This university top student. I pushed him away and smiled sheepishly. Sorry, I'm not as excellent as you think. No, you are very excellent, really very excellent. The little boy lowered his head and kissed me on the cheek. Then this kiss gradually spread recklessly to my lips. Sister, this year, I have been quietly watching you, seeing you thrive in the student council and dominate the GPA rankings in the entire department. You always think you are getting better because of Jiang Yu, but that's not true. You are already great. It's actually me, trying to change myself because of you. The little guy paused, his voice suddenly becoming thick, his wet eyes looking at me. Sister, I want to pursue you, is that okay? No, I decisively interrupted him. 7. He knows very well why I coaxed him to the hotel yesterday. I felt wronged by Jiang Yu, and, under the influence of alcohol, wanted to take revenge in this way. In this matter, the little guy was just an innocent tool. I guess he also felt uncomfortable inside, but still quietly went along with me. If I could say that yesterday, I could excuse myself by being drunk and not considering him. So today, I looked at the sincere little guy and didn't want to treat him as a tool to escape my previous relationship. I just broke up with Jiang Yu, and my emotions are still unstable. It wouldn't be fair to you whether I agree or refuse at this time. But I am serious, the little guy said eagerly. I am serious too. The more serious I am, the more I fear hurting him. Seeing the little guy's aggrieved expression, I pondered for a moment and finally relented. I just mean that it's not the right time now. At least, give me some time, I will seriously consider you and myself. The little guy pursed his lips and nodded vigorously. It's okay, I will wait. Just after changing into the clothes the little guy brought me, I received a message from Bai Tang Tang. She said she had set off and would arrive in about half an hour. I was careless and forgot about this. I pinched the hem of my t-shirt, looking at my barefaced self in the mirror, and I started to panic. This won't do. Let's hurry up and go. I need to go back and put on some makeup and change my clothes. Are you going to find Jiang Yu? The little one frowned, looking displeased. I was taken aback for a moment, realizing that my first reaction was, why should I put on makeup if I'm going to find Jiang Yu? Indeed, when a heart is hurt, it really becomes indifferent. Of course not, it's by Tang Tang, the girl Jiang Yu is maintaining. She asked to meet me. When meeting a rival in love, one needs to dress up well. The little one still frowned tightly. What does she want to meet you for? Is she up to something? I'll go with you. I thought for a moment. She seems to be quite nice, even asked me if I was hurt. So you can rest assured. The little ones started to lower their head and pack things up. But I think you look very beautiful like this. You really don't need to go back to put on makeup and change into a dress. Really? You're not just saying that to trick me, are you? Really? You made my heart flutter for the first time back then, just because of this outfit. Confessions come naturally. Isn't that because you have a fan filter that's dozens of meters thick? But I thought about it and realized there's no need to compare anymore. I've already broken up with Jiang Yu. Competing with females is really boring. So when I walked in front of Bai Tang Tang and looked at her lazy yet charming face, I felt completely at ease. If she were to say something like letting me give Jiang Yu to her, I would definitely agree happily. And I would immediately hand her a garbage bag, kindly reminding her that Jiang Yu is hazardous waste. But in the end, Bai Tang Tang didn't play by the rules at all. I was just about to sit down when she waved me over to sit next to her, saying that the seat across from her was right in front of the air conditioning vent, and it would be too cold there. Did you get hit yesterday? Did you see a doctor? After sitting down, the first thing Bai Tang Tang said made me decide to be friends with her. Don't worry. I'm not with Jiang-yu, I'm not interested in him. Bai Tang-tang's second sentence made me decide to be good sisters, who would always stand united with her. Jiang-yu didn't pursue me, this person thinks too much, and he doesn't deserve you. I suddenly understood that what was said on a certain blog, 3 sentences, made a man spend 180,000 on me, really exists. Bai Tang-tang said she didn't know I was Jiang-yu's girlfriend. It was from the escape room we left yesterday. She overheard Jiang-yu's conversation with a few others and guessed that I had suffered such great injustice. Jiang-yu always hints at being single in front of me, whether intentionally or not, Bai Tang-tang said, resting her chin on her hand, but I really don't care, I'm not interested in him. Bai Tang-tang, Sister Bai, I admire her. If I had 180,000, I would give it to her too. Bai Tang-tang lazily smiled, stirred her coffee, and looked at the crowd coming and going outside the floor-to-ceiling window. Why do you want 180,000? I'm not interested either. The one I like, right? I heard you and he are in the same class. The topic changed so quickly that I didn't react. Yeah, she lives right across from me. As soon as I finished speaking, Bai Tang-tang, who was indifferent to everything, suddenly seemed to be lit up. She switched to a cautious tone. I want to ask you for a favor. Bai Tang-tang mentioned that her birthday is in a few days and wanted me to help her invite He to play an escape room together. Create an accidental fate-like opportunity to help her smoothly add He on WeChat. And she emphasized that we must not invite that little police boyfriend of He's. So Jiang-yu accompanied you to the escape room to help you scout the place. Bai Tang-tang felt a bit embarrassed. Jiang-yu mentioned he knew He, and that's when I chatted with him a bit. He found out that He likes to play escape rooms and even offered to take me to experience it. I didn't expect there to be so much trouble. Bai Tang-tang was quite frustrated. I didn't expect that wanting He's WeChat would cause so much trouble. Why don't I just give you her WeChat directly? No, that would lose the sense of ceremony. Here. As I was about to leave, Bai Tang-tang suddenly leaned close to my ear. Do you know the person at the table next to us? He has been staring at us. 8. I looked up to see. The person over there quickly turned around and lifted the menu to cover his entire face. But a few strands of hair sticking up revealed. It's that little rascal. Why is he still following us? I know Shumuchuan, he is a sophomore, and also the NPC who dressed up as a ghost yesterday. Under Bai Tang-tang's questioning gaze, I gritted my teeth and continued. Yesterday, he took me to see a doctor, and later, he took care of me when I got drunk. Oh, Bai Tang-tang had a half-smile on her face. It might sound a bit boastful, but from my experience in society, this guy is much more reliable than Jiang-yu. You should seize the opportunity. What are you talking about? I retorted, blushing. We haven't known each other for long. But I found him very interesting at first glance. If you don't want him, Bai Tang-tang raised her eyebrows, how about I go flirt with him? As soon as she finished speaking, she picked up her bag, stood up, and walked over to the little ghost, greeting him warmly. I panicked immediately. Bai Jie, you can't do this to me. Are you really going to break up my CP all by yourself? And I am now barefaced, completely barefaced. Recalling how I pretended to be reserved and rejected the little guy in the hotel earlier, I wished I could travel back in time and shout to myself, just agree. I hurried over, stepping in front of Bai Tang-tang, awkwardly forcing a smile. What a coincidence, Shumuchuan. The little guy's surprise immediately turned into embarrassment. He jumped up, sister, don't misunderstand. I didn't mean to say I was following you or anything. I was just afraid they might have some bad intentions. Clearly, someone has their eyes on you. I put my hands behind my back and pushed Bai Tang-tang back a bit. Don't worry, I didn't misunderstand. Bai Tang-tang grabbed my wrist and leaned behind me, whispering. Here, I told you to seize the opportunity, and now you realize you're anxious. I'm leaving first, you two continue, and remember to help me arrange a meeting with He. By the way, there's a little surprise for you, and you'll find out soon. Surprise? Looking at Bai Tangtang's inscrutable expression as she left, my heart was pounding, unsure whether to expect anything. Sister, what did she say to you? The little wolf dog nudged my arm and hesitated for a long time before speaking. Did she ask you to give Jiangyu to her? No. Ah? She didn't ask you to give him up, or you just didn't give him up. Seeing the little one's anxious expression, I suddenly felt a bit happy. What? Are you jealous? Yeah. The little one straightforwardly expressed possessiveness. Sister, you already said you would consider me seriously, so you can't consider anyone else. I smiled and nodded. Okay, right now I'm only thinking about you. Bai Tangtang is right, Jiangyu is not worthy of me. The person who puts me at the top of their heart, like Xiao Guiqiu, is the one I need to cherish. I was thinking of ways to please Xiao Guiqiu when my phone rang. The mentor from the internship company called and said there was bad news, and I should prepare myself mentally. In the next moment, I heard Jiangyu's name. The mentor said that we would be competing for the only available position. 9. Jiangyu and I are interning at the same company, but in different departments. In our senior year, internships are all about securing a job offer. However, due to the impact of the pandemic abroad, the headquarters business volume has decreased. And recruitment quotas have been reduced everywhere. Now I have to compete with the intern from the marketing department for the only available position. That intern is Jiangyu. I hadn't even had time to react when Jiangyu's call came in. After hanging up, I quickly received his WeChat message. Su Qin, don't throw a tantrum, let's talk. What do you want to talk about? I thought he would bring up the topic of breaking up, since our last chat was still on that subject. I was still typing. If it's about breaking up, there's no need to talk. I hadn't finished typing the word. His WeChat message came back directly. Let's talk about the reserved quota. I don't think we need to compete. Jiangyu, oh Jiangyu, he is as calm as ever, always able to accurately find his own interests. I smiled faintly and replied, no need to talk. I will give it my all. This time, I will not back down. Who can get that spot depends on the results of the final CEO interview. I reached out my hand, just about to push open the door to the conference room, when Jiangyu came over and grabbed my arm. He looked at me, paused for a moment, and his voice was surprisingly gentle. Qin, I apologize to you. His words left me stunned for a full minute. It has been 2 years. I have known Jiangyu for 2 years, and he has never called me that, nor has he ever apologized to me. How could a couple not have argued after being together? But the one who always bowed their head was me. It was always me who softly said sorry to Jiangyu, saying I was too willful, and that I would work hard to correct it. And then I would have to be lectured by him with a cold face, telling me not to sound so coy, as it was unpleasant to hear. I once longed for the aloof Jiangyu to be melted by my passionate feelings, and willing to lower himself for me. But now, hearing him affectionately call my name and say he wants to apologize, I only felt a churn in my stomach and a chill in my heart. He softened his stance, just to keep this reserved position. Really, so cheap? I understand. I smiled at him nonchalantly, and brushed off his hand that was holding mine. Time is running out, let's all give it our best. For the interview, whether it was the self-introduction, or answering questions, I was well prepared. Make the utmost effort to showcase my abilities and attitude. Jiangyu also performed excellently. After all, he is a top student, with solid fundamentals and high intelligence. As candidates, after we finished speaking, it was obvious to see the conflict and hesitation on the faces of several company executives. After all, if it weren't for the reduction in recruitment quotas, both of us would have been directly retained. How about this? Let's also talk about the mentoring of the 2 interns. What are your opinions and evaluations of these 2 kids? Someone suggested. My mentor naturally praised me highly. He is from Guangdong and racked his brains to find flattering expressions in Mandarin. When he couldn't think of any more, he simply switched to Cantonese. A group of people were taken aback, silently nodding along with him, pretending to understand. On Jianyu's side, his mentor turned out to be Bai Tang Tang. In a sharp professional outfit, her slightly lazy demeanor made her appear quite at ease. Jiang Yu is under my guidance. His business skills are outstanding. He is smart, sharp, and very execution-oriented. If he can be retained, he will definitely be a good talent. Of course, I have to praise the person I mentored, but I didn't expect Bai Tang Tang to change her tone. She said very seriously. The candidate is good, but not suitable. I still have some doubts about him. 10. Bai Tang Tang stared at the puzzled and tense expressions of the crowd, her voice still calm and unhurried. Our company, as a professional third-party organization, considers business capability as a basic quality, but the foundation and bottom line is moral cultivation. Sincerity is our primary consideration in selecting people, and in this regard, I believe Jiang Yu still needs to improve. Bai Tang Tang smiled faintly at everyone and sat down gracefully. She stirred up a storm in everyone's hearts lightly. It is not an exaggeration to say so. After all, Bai Tang Tang's words basically directly denied Jiang Yu's character. The mentor personally gave such an evaluation, which would make those executives hesitate again and again. The more capable a person is, the greater the hidden dangers they can bring to the company if their thoughts are not right. Who would dare to keep him? Sure enough. Jiang Yu's forehead bulged with veins, and his fists were clenched tightly. I could even imagine the cracking sound. He stood up in a fit of rage, his eyes red as he stared at Bai Tang Tang. What right do you have? Bai Tang Tang raised her chin, too lazy to lift her eyelids. Why should I say that? Don't you know? Jiang Yu was momentarily speechless, opened his mouth, and then let out a long sigh to adjust himself. Looking at the row of company executives, his voice was much calmer when he spoke again. If sincerity is the primary consideration for selecting candidates, then I believe the other candidate, Su Qin, is completely unqualified to stand here. The crowd, who had just relaxed, held their breath again. In the quiet conference room, I could even clearly hear my own heartbeat, getting faster and more chaotic. What is he going to say? Jiang Yu, my ex-boyfriend, the ex-boyfriend, who said he would apologize to me just an hour ago. Now standing up. He told everyone that I was not qualified to be a candidate. Seemingly confident of his victory, Jiang Yu slightly curled the corners of his lips. As far as I know, Su Qin lied during her internship interview by saying she was single. This is deceit. She has always had a boyfriend. And they should get married right after graduation. Of course, I fully support equal pay for equal work, but I also hope the company considers how women balance their careers and families, especially after marriage and childbirth. After hearing those words, my heart felt like it had been stabbed, crushed, and then thrown to the bottom of a cold lake. The words Jiang Yu said on the day of the interview still linger in my ears, becoming sharp and harsh in my mind at this moment. Su Qin, if the interviewer asks if you have a boyfriend, just say no. Why? We are interviewing for the same company and both hope to be retained. Although we are in different departments. It might give people a bad impression. What's wrong with that? Most companies prohibit employees from dating. Don't you understand this? Oh, but, Jiang Yu, were you just afraid that the company would prohibit dating at that time? So you had already anticipated that one day we would compete head-on, and you had laid the groundwork long ago. I slowly stood up, my fingertips turning pale as I barely managed to steady myself. That's right, during the internship interview, I was indeed asked if I was single, and at that time, I did not answer truthfully. I tried to suppress the tremor in my voice. But I didn't lie. I simply avoided the question by saying it was inconvenient to disclose. The reason it was inconvenient to disclose is simple. My boyfriend and I were concerned that our romantic relationship would affect my internship. Because my boyfriend at that time was Jiang Yu. 11. As soon as I finished speaking, everyone turned to Jiang Yu, their faces breaking into amused smiles. I continued. In fact, on the very day I started my internship, I had already confessed to my mentor and received his affirmative response. He told me that this issue actually had no impact. Teacher nodded. That's right, I can testify to that. I have always believed that the workplace should consider competence, especially in your esteemed company known for its professionalism. Gender or marital status should not be criteria for judgment. But since it was brought up by Jiang Yu, my ex-boyfriend, I don't mind saying a bit more. Jiang Yu and I have broken up, but I am not single. I have found a very excellent boyfriend. At the same time, I am also very sure that no matter what my marital status is, it will not affect my commitment to work in the future. Sincerity and professionalism, I believe, are essential professional qualities. Until I walked out of the office building, I still felt a bit dazed. The interview results, of course, would not be announced on the spot. A senior executive solemnly reiterated that there is no gender discrimination in the workplace, and then said, "You will wait for the notification," and that was the end of it. But after watching such a dramatic turn of events, the amount of information was overwhelming, and everyone's expressions were quite remarkable. Jiang Yu didn't even glance at me, quickly packed his things, and left. I don't know if it was intentional, but as he passed by Tang Tang, he raised his arm and bumped into her shoulder. So will love disappear? Was it all calculated from the beginning? Tang Tang mouthed to me, "You did great." I nodded gratefully, feeling the temperature in my fingers return a little. When I got downstairs, a figure radiating sunshine rushed over, and before they could steady themselves, they bent down to poke open the milk tea and stuffed it into my hand. "Big sister, I bet you did super well." The bright smile of the little one finally brought me back from winter to summer. "That's right, I did super well." Ding. My phone rang. The mentor sent a smiley face, telling me it was all good. I waved my phone in front of the little one. "Come on, let's celebrate. Big sister will take you out for something delicious." I wrapped my arm around his and tried to walk away, but the little one stopped in place, ruffled his hair, and then spoke up. "Sister, I want to ask you for a favor." 12. The little kid blushed and seriously took out a stack of A4 paper. He said earnestly, "Sister, can you help me take a look at my resume?" "Hey, what's there to be shy about?" I teased him. "You're already preparing your resume in your sophomore year, you're really impressive." But after I took a glance, my expression cracked a bit. It really is necessary to start preparing in your sophomore year. Well, you don't need to write about your parents' situation, or what you did when you were little. Ha ha ha, why did you even write about fighting with your classmates when you were a kid? And these photos of yours, although they are very cute, can't be included in the resume. As I flipped through, I couldn't help but laugh. "Oh my, your look with that little red dot on your forehead is just too funny." The little brat awkwardly snatched it from me, saying, "Oh, come on, don't look at that. Look, I can only know how to revise it for you after I finish reading it." The little guy lowered his head and said softly, "I don't need you to revise it." Didn't you ask me to help you review your resume? Yeah, I asked you to look at it, and then let you consider whether to hire me. The little guy pursed his lips and looked at me. Hire what? Hire me, to be your boyfriend. The little guy became so shy that he got anxious and picked up the stack of A4 paper. This is my family situation, a normal family, but my parents are really nice. This is my experience before school. I was a bit mischievous, but it shows that I have ideas and leadership skills. This is my school experience. I started with average grades, but after working hard, I improved. You see, I won a lot of awards in college. This is my experience from social practice. Now in my sophomore year, I mainly work part-time to earn money. Next year, I will start my internship to lay the foundation for finding a job. If you think it's too late, I can also start looking for an internship in the second half of the semester. I sat across from the little guy, listening to him talk to me one by one. At first, I tried hard to suppress my laughter, afraid that he would get shy and run away again. Later on, I don't know why, but my nose felt a bit sour, and my eyes became wet. Little guy, Shumuchuan, why are you so nice to me? I tilted my head and asked him. Because I like you, he replied with a light laugh. But I'm not that great. In matters of liking, it doesn't matter whether you are great or not, it's all about feeling. Moreover, you are clearly very excellent. Then fine, you are accepted. Huh. Shumuchuan, you have been accepted by me, Su-chin-chin, to be my boyfriend. Hey. Oh, I can't bear to look. Shumuchuan really looks so silly when he smiles. So cute. 12. My sister Bai in society said she needed my help, calling me every day like a debt collector, urging me to quickly arrange a meeting with he. Sometimes the little brat gets jealous and asks me why I talk on the phone with Bai Tang Tang for so long. I'm really having a hard time. It's not just that. After finally managing to arrange a meeting with he, we finally went to play an escape room together. At Bai's request, this time we shouldn't have too many people, just a group of 4 will be fine. As a result, my friend Xiao Dao and I were left behind. Watching Bai Tang Tang stare at he the whole time, variously caring for her and leaning in to ask if she was scared. She even secretly scared her in a corridor, proudly pulling her into an embrace. The gaming experience was too poor. If you are unkind, I will be unjust. I steeled my heart and precisely captured an NPC in the escape room. Little ghost, come help me find the key. Sister, I'm at work. Helping clients find keys will cost me money. Then don't come looking for me tonight. Sister, the key is in the 3rd drawer of the cabinet to your right, don't move, I'll get it for you. Years later, her friend Xiao Dao recalled that day, the night she cried while returning to the dormitory. Still can't help but sigh. The experience of the escape room game was really terrible. There was only one benefit, which made her believe in love just a little bit. The cheeky little boy scratched her nose and said, I was wondering why you suddenly agreed that day, turns out you were stimulated. Then, looking at us, he spoke boastfully. Let me tell you the story of how I pursued our little Dao back in the day. I don't know about others. Anyway, I laughed and fell into the little devil's arms.